I guess just in terms of the experience that I had on the Enbridge spill, um, it seemed like there was um, a lot of different methods of data collection and sort of a lack of sophistication, and many times, especially when contractors are doing the data collection, um, it was either very incomplete or you know done by people with varying degrees of understanding. How you know has that been on the Deepwater Horizon spill, and how have you guys sort of addressed that or managed to extract useful information from
Um, so I had no gray hair before Deepwater Horizon. I was so NOAA in particular. We go out in the field and we collect data. So we've got a couple of protocols, but despite our preparedness, trying to pull things together in terms of sampling protocols, scientific underpinnings, and data collection methods, we were unprepared. And so there was a real serious scramble. I think NOAA was the best prepared of the federal agencies. Several states are at the forefront, like California, Texas has some, Washington has some really good spill response focus. But from a damage assessment perspective, you basically create, inform, and you really, what we did for Deepwater Horizon is we had a really concerted training effort. And it really didn't get going until really the end of this year. But we sent people out into the field with training and so how do you enter information, photographs, how do you collect photographs, and then when they came back in from the field, um, because it was so big, we actually had a consultant, a contractor, who was sitting there at intake and making sure that the information was uploaded into this file collection system. And that is the only way that you are, I think, ever able to get all your information into a common place. And if you don't, then you end up with what is going on in the Gulf of Mexico from all the other research agencies, which is packets of information which may have metadata, but you are unable to make those connections. So you have someone collecting samples over here and over here, and they can publish papers, but you can't look holistically because nobody has done the hard work of saying, oh, what you call analyte X, we call analyte Y. So we were able to enforce that by really trying to get in front of these data flows. So that's what happened for Deepwater Horizon. But it's an ongoing struggle. And so what we're doing internally is trying to set up standards for how do you get on scene, collect information, and then move that through from collection to management to query, delivering, analysis, and then what we were talking about earlier, moving on to that more collaborative analysis, production of products, and bringing that back in so that you can slice data up, ask questions, and then either use that to design your next action or support your decision.
I just like want to share some experience. Okay. Just want to share my experience and my ask a question. Like I'm from Thailand and I'm work in pollution control department and one of my tasks is for responsibility for the oil spill when oil spill occur and basically like we have like collect all the information coastal of Thailand and all the natural resources. We have all that information like that we prepare for when oil spill going to occur, right? And we have like oil spill model. One is occur, we can run the model, and we have the emergency plan, like what the organization gonna do and all that stuff, and we do like practicing, and it's kind of like when the oil spill happen, I feel like all that. I mean, the people who like act like to tell that okay do some like discussion uh, in the oil spill and for the information that we have for the natural resources. I kind I kind of feel like they not come together. Even like in that area, they have some like natural resources, which is like for example the coral reef. We shouldn't like put this person in that area, and somehow like the decision maker like they make a decision that okay to put some this person in that area. I just feel like when the oil spill happen, we we kind of like not in the plan. And my question is like in your experience, it feel like you have pretty good like fundamental of the data and the system. Do you have that kind of problem or that kind of experience? I mean, especially in USA.
So in the states, there's a couple different laws that lay out who has responsibility for what, and it's quite clear now. So there's very quickly within federal government and state and local governments, when there's an incident, they set up something it's kind of like a quasi-military structure called the Incident Command System, which I think works extremely well. It's derived from and it's used in military. It's used in responses like from environmental disasters, where you have a lead and then you have different groups. And so for oil spills generally, it's really focused on the oil spill response, so cleaning up actionable oil in the environment and reducing harm to people. And so the way that it's structured is that there's a lead, and that lead is not just making arbitrary decisions. They're really accountable to the different heads of different groups, and so I think it works out quite well. Where there's a 24-hour cycle. If it's a kind of a medium or large, you have a whole planning cycle, and it's really prescriptive about how you approach it. You have a lot of forms to fill out. And it's becoming more and more powered by data and information, and less just off-the-cuff judgments. So one of the things that we developed is a common operating picture, which is a visualization tool. So NOAA has a scientific support coordinator. So from a scientific perspective, there's someone from NOAA who is talking to the lead and advising on response actions. And so with this common operational picture, we're able to ingest data sets, shapefile geodatabases, services, so you can have a common picture. Now, there's struggles. There's consultants who are, the oil companies pay, and the consultants want to have their own viewer. And the way that NOAA, our team really tries to navigate that and try to keep that kind of unity is we do drills, and we practice, and we work with other companies, and we try to demonstrate that, yes, you can have your own viewer, but let's have data standards so we have interoperability. So we practice with EPA, who has their own methodology for collecting data, and so we're able to ingest and show that in a viewer, and that's by having interoperability, ontology, so you're talking about the same things and working on things before there's an oil spill. Now, as far as damage assessment goes, damage assessment gets less integration. So we're working on bringing in damage. So we're part of the response, but usually everybody goes and works on the response, and damage assessment is left with like 3 people who are newest to the program.
The data is supposed to be quickly.
Thank you to the group. Appreciate that. Yeah, oil spill response from geodesign. That's great. Yeah.